The weather's getting colder, so who doesn't want a meal that's really going to stick to the ribs? This Italian comfort food has all the profiles that make a good meal. It's savory, it's cheesy, and the sauce is so easy to make you'll be surprised at how good it tastes. Let's get started. First, we're going to start making the sauce. I have two 28-ounce cans of San Marzano whole tomatoes. If you can find them, use the San Marzano or the San Marzano type. They make a thicker sauce and a more flavorful sauce. You'll notice the difference if you start using them. I like to crush them with my hands. I like the sauce to have some bigger bits of tomatoes in it. But if you don't like that, you could throw it in a blender. It'll work just fine that way. It won't have the big chunks of tomatoes in it. Make sure you use one hand to squeeze and one hand to hold over because it's going to shoot everywhere if you don't do that. And once that's done, just set it to the side for now. Get you a heavy pot preheating on the oven, about medium heat. And now we're going to cut up a whole onion and have about 4 cloves of garlic here. Put a little olive oil in the pot. I'm not using extra virgin because it tends to burn. But after you get your oil in there, go ahead and put your onions. We're going to cook these down until they get soft. Don't add your garlic yet. We're going to add that toward the end. Okay, our onion's been cooking for about, I'd say 10 minutes or so. I'm going to add a little bit of extra virgin in now. And then also it's time we're going to put our garlic in. Garlic, like extra virgin, tends to burn if it cooks too long. And you don't want it tasting bitter. We're going to cook this for a few minutes. And then we're going to dump the tomatoes on top of it. You'll know when it's time to dump the tomatoes. You'll start getting a really good garlicky smell. That's when it's time to dump them. All right, I'm getting that smell now. So it's time to dump the tomatoes. And as you can see with the San Marzanos, how bright the sauce is. It gives you that bright red sauce. For the seasonings, I did 2 teaspoons of salt. I found that about a teaspoon of salt per can gives you just the right amount of salt. I did about a tablespoon of dried basil. And then just like a sprinkle of red pepper flakes. If you want to use fresh basil, you put it in at the end. If you put it in at the beginning, it's going to cook all the flavor out. Then put a lid on it and bring it to a boil. Once it's at a boil, you're just going to put it down to a simmer. And you can let it go for as long as you want. You can cook it for 20 minutes if you want to make it quick. And if you want to cook it longer, if you want to cook it all day, you can do that too. My sauce has been simmering for a while now, so I'm going to start cooking the meat. I have about a pound of ground deer here. But you can use whatever you like. Regular ground beef, Italian sausage, half beef, or if you desire, ground turkey, I guess. We're just going to cook this so there's no more pink in it, just like you would any other time you're cooking ground beef like this. All right, that's what you want your sauce looking like. You want it to have just a slight bubble to it. Give it a good little stir, and then we're going to add that meat into it. I didn't have to drain this because it was mostly deer with a little bit of brisket, so it doesn't have a whole lot of fat. We're going to give it a good stir, get all the meat mixed around really good. Then we're going to cover it and we'll keep on simmering it. All right, now it's time to get the pasta cooked. So get you a pot of water boiling. Make sure you season it very good with salt. You want to be salty like the sea. All right, we're at a rolling boil now, so go ahead and add your pasta. Just cook it the way the box says it. Nothing fancy there. Now I'm going to head out to the garden. I'm going to get me some fresh basil because that always goes good in the end. Okay, our sauce is done, so I took it off the heat, and now we're just going to tear the basil and put it in there like that. Once your pasta's done, drain it, and add you about a cup of sour cream. Don't worry, it's not going to taste like sour cream, but it's going to add a little bit of creaminess to it. And once it's added, just stir it all around till it's all incorporated. Now it's time to assemble it. Get you an oven-safe dish. Make sure it's deep enough. If you want to know how deep you need, just think of a lasagna. And if a lasagna will fit in it, then it'll be deep enough. And then layer the bottom with a little bit of sauce so everything doesn't stick. Then we're going to put a layer of noodles on top of the sauce. You're going to want to use about half your noodles right here. Then when you got your layer of pasta down, you want to put a layer of sauce on top of that. You're going to layer this noodles, sauce, cheese. Noodles, sauce, cheese. I got to tell myself that every time I make this. Okay, so I got a layer of sauce down over my noodles. Now I'm going to add my cheese. I do 6 slices of provolone. And then I'm going to top that provolone with some mozzarella. And now you're going to repeat the process all over again with noodles, sauce, cheese. Until it looks like this. And if you haven't done so, preheat your oven to 350. And then we're going to put this in for about 25 minutes. Okay, it's been 25 minutes. Let's see how it looks. All the cheese is melted and it's nice and warm inside. Let it sit for a few minutes, and now it's time to cut it open. The first piece is always the hardest to get out. It's going to be a little messy. It's going to get everywhere, but it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's difficult. There's that stringy cheese everybody loves. And that's it. If you try it, let me know how you like it.